The next stage in the house project, the septic tank designer is coming out today. Have a chat where it should go on the land. He also works for the council, so hopefully there's nothing we've been doing wrong. You always kind of worry a little bit about that. Funnily enough, the earthworks guys just turned up this morning and we had a chat about flattening the house area. So I just feel like suddenly it's all go. Right, that was a very interesting meeting. We've decided we're probably going to have the septic tank just out here. It's going to take a whole 20 meters by 5 meters, and that will be a lot of the hosing that will slowly release the water. It'll have a septic tank that has 2 components, and there was something else as well, another section, and it needs to be connected to power, because all the rules have changed since December apparently, so it's also going to be a little bit more expensive. The interesting thing is he can do the design, we can submit it to the council, and we can still shift it around a bit. It all depends on when the plumber comes out to install it. He can have the final say, but the design just needs to be similar, which is fine. Very interesting. And this way, if it's just out there, it'll never affect this view, and I can still have a greenhouse over to the right. There's still room for that. So I'm happy with that. And I just realized that visit was our first official house bill. So it really is kind of started. It's kind of cool. So what is this? It's going to be a portable shower, so it can fit on Hayden's trailer. It's also going to live up here, just to make my life more manageable when Hayden's away at work. He's been having a bit of work in Wellington, so he's racing back and forth there. So I think when this is set up, I will feel comfortable being here on my own. I'll be able to just pop out, have a quick shower with Reese, and be able to also easily get him hot water for his bath as well. It's just a bit of a mission right now, so this will be doable, I think. And it's very much just temporary, just to kind of get us through the next couple of months really. And I got some comfrey delivered to me, 20 shoots, leaves cut off. Long roots, so hopefully they take off. I attempted to plant some from seeds last year and I don't think they survived. I think I planted them too late in the season. So I thought I'd get this food forest going a bit faster this year and bought some that were already well developed. So I've planted 2 comfrey plants per fruit tree in this mowed area. Still need to do the long grass section. I managed to plant 10 of them with Reese sleeping in the pram yesterday. It really is hit and miss on what you can achieve. Really? So I kind of feel proud that I managed to plant those. And I had a friend ask me, why am I planting these things so close to the fruit trees? Well, the lupins produce, I think it's nitrogen in their roots, so you want the roots to kind of intertwine with the fruit tree roots, and then the comfrey will pull some more minerals from the soil, and then you trim them, and the mulch is amazing, and it just feeds the fruit tree as well at the same time. So I'm slowly going to start expanding the area from the fruit trees. And another big task is to dig up the grass here, and I'm going to have my first proper veggie patch on the land. But to do that, I really need to start planting some seeds. So I was looking online at teething toys for Reese because I think he's getting pretty close to that, and couldn't get over the prices for them. So I ended up stumbling across a site that sold the individual beads and rings at a much more affordable price, so I made my own one. And it's unique because it's got Reese's name in there too, so I'm super happy with this. And Hayden's now going to explain to you the rest of his power setup, particularly the new 240 volt section.
So in a previous video you've seen me set up my solar system with my inverter. Today we're going to have a look at the next aspect of it, which is the 240 volt side. We have a thing in New Zealand called Grid Connect, and it's all about smart switches that you can use from your phone. So incorporated into my solar system is a few smart switches, so I can do a few things from my phone to control my system at the same time. So they started in by putting in an earth rod beside the container. That gave me an earth for my whole entire system, connected to everything. They then put two circuit breaker boxes. They put the first one in for the generator power coming in, and the second one in for the inverter power. So the generator has a RCD through to the circuit breakers, and then it comes down to my first plug. So this plug here will supply the power from the generator when the generator's on. My inverter power, that also goes through my RCD and my circuit breakers, and then it comes down to my plugs down the bottom here. So I split my plugs up, and I have just a power box here which runs 24 hours a day, and I can't control that one, so that's not on a smart switch. So that's got my fridge and my freezer and the washing machine currently plugged into it, and so that goes all the time, and I have to manually turn that one on and off. Then I have a 24-hour smart switch double plug, so if I plug something in here, it will go 24 hours a day, but I can control it from my phone if I wanted to turn it off, if the draw was getting too much or something, and I can just quickly turn it on and off with my phone. I then have two more plugs. I've called one day power and one night power. So basically the day power has got a timer switch behind it, and that one will turn on at 9 AM and then turn off at 3 PM. So I can use that if I just want something that only runs during the day and when my peak solar hours are. And then I have a night power one, and that one, so you can plug a light in and it will only ever come on at night. It will also be eventually for a smart light as well, sensor light outside. So what I do with them is when I turn the generator on, I keep my dryer plugged into the generator. I only use the dryer when the generator's going. I've also got a microwave and oven that runs off this power lead along the container here, and sometimes I use it on the inverter and sometimes I use it on the generator depending on what's happening at the time. So that can either plug into the generator, or I can plug it into my 24-hour smart switch, and then I can turn it on and off for the microwave and things, so the little clock doesn't keep going and slowly draw your power. At the moment I'm got my bus battery. I've taken it out and I've got it on charge, so I plug that into my day power, and that means that during the day it'll charge up and then have a rest at night, and then the next day it'll spend a bit of time on the charger as well. Just give it a bit of a recondition while it's out of the bus. This yellow plug here, this yellow lead, that goes to my temporary setup for just beside the containers here. So, and I use that for my power tools and things when I'm doing stuff. We also have I have a little 12 volt system that I've stolen out of the bus, and I'm just using that for a water pump at the moment. And so another handy thing with the day plug is that to charge that 12 volt battery, I plug into the day plug, and that just happens automatically every day without overdoing it. There's one last switch in here that I haven't talked about, and that's my generator switch. So my generator has ATS, which is an automatic transfer switch. That means that whilst the inverter is plugged into the ATS, it's supplying it power, and if all of a sudden it's no longer supplying power, meaning that the batteries have got low or the inverter is turned off, then the ATS will know that there's no more power and it will automatically turn on my generator, and so then it will then deliver the power back again. So that's on a smart switch, and all I'm going to do is just touch it, and you might have heard that just tweak, and then that comes on. It's got a bit of a timer on it, so when I turn it off, that gives it a bit of a chance to power down. It takes 20 seconds. The reason it's on a timer switch is because when the generator starts up, it starts supplying power, but of course it doesn't supply the 240 volt instantly. It starts, as it starts to rev up, it gets to the point where it's supplying 240 properly, and the inverter doesn't like that. So there's actually another switch which when I turn this switch on, it waits for the generator to start up before a second switch, for the power to then come in. So this is the ATS. So I can also control it from my phone, and I just pull out my phone and I press a button, and as you see the red light's gone off. That means it knows that it's power, and that's my ATS.